All right, we're back on the Young Turks. Now, you might have heard a lot about vulture capitalists, but you might not know exactly what that means. Don't worry, we're here to explain it. I'm going to put on my professorial hat here and try to explain to you in actually really simple terms. And it's probably overly simple, but I want you to get a sense of this, how leveraged buyouts work, right? So let me show you a normal company, and we're putting really round numbers here, obviously. Let's say its value is $10,000. Its income is $1,000 and its profit is $100. Now, if you own the company, this is great. That's how capitalism is supposed to work. You make your $100, everybody's happy, right? Now, when you do a leveraged buyout, what happens is you've got to borrow the $9,000 because you don't have the whole $10,000 to buy the company because Harry Smith, who built the company, is getting paid, right? You got to pay him. So you borrow $9,000 to do it. Now you have all of a sudden payments, interest payments of $900. So that actually brings your profits down to 10% of what they used to be. It's about $10 because it's all going towards the interest payments because you borrowed that money to buy the company. So what happens next? Well, this is the really interesting part, and this is why they make so much money. See, before, when Harry Smith owned the company, he had to pay taxes on $100. Now, most of that money is going towards interest payments, so they don't have to pay taxes on it. So now they're only paying taxes on $10. So they're saving the difference in taxes between $10 and $100. And they're getting to put that in their pocket because they did a leveraged buyout. So that's a huge way in how they make money off of this. But that's the upside for them. Here's the downside. Now, what if there's a slight downturn for the company? Because you know that happens, right? Companies make money, companies lose money. Well, in the old days, when Harry Smith owned it, you know, he was making $100. Okay, you go to lose 20%. You're still making an $80 profit, right? Now, after the leverage buyout, remember your profit's only $10. You got to keep paying the bank. Now, when you lose the $20, all of a sudden you're in negative territory, and you're headed towards bankruptcy. But Mitt Romney and Bain Capital already got their fees. They already got a lot of their money out. So if your company goes bankrupt, maybe they care, maybe they don't care, right? Now, certainly the employees care. Now, there's another way that they make money off of this. Because let's say things go well, and you've paid down that loan. Remember how the loan was $9,000? Now, if things have gone well, you've made a profit, and you've got it down to $5,000. Now, if you owned it, you think, okay, great, now I'm going to make more money as we go along. Now, when Bain Capital and other private equity firms own it, they think, no, I want that tax advantage. I'm immediately going to borrow more money so I have less profit on the books. So they borrow another $4,000 to get back up to $9,000. Obviously, these are all incredibly round, rough numbers, but it gives you a sense of it. So now you say, all right, well, they borrowed another $4,000. Where is that going? Are they going to put that back into the company so they can do quality products? No. Here's the killer part. They take the $4,000 and they put it straight in their pocket, okay? They just take the money and put it in. So they remember that original $12 million we showed you that Bain Capital made on GST Steel? So, for example, if they refinanced, they re-leveraged, they could take $12 million, put it in their pocket, don't put it back into the company. But the huge downside of that is the minute you have a downturn, as I showed you earlier, the company's going to go bankrupt. But what do they care? They put in $8 million and they got out a total of $16.5 million. They doubled their money. Now, of course, there's a big downside to this. And it's to the employees of the company and other shareholders. So what happens to the employees? They get fired. 750 workers that used to work at GST Steel, all gone, obliterated. But Bain Capital made a profit. What difference does it make? See, when they tell you rich people are job creators, sometimes that's true, and sometimes it's the exact opposite.